Bad Rabbit.
Hey everyone, I'm Shiloh with Bad Rabbit Homestead, and I'm going to give you a quick update on our rabbit warren. We made a couple of mistakes just from the get-go, and the big one was we put our two bucks together, which is a huge no-no. And all of my research on rabbit colonies, I did not run across this particular tidbit of information. So unfortunately, one of our bucks harassed the other one to the point where we had to cull him. Fortunately, it was a buck that we were talking about culling anyway because he's full sibling to one of these guys and also son of Margot right here. So we were going to cull him anyway just so that there's no mixing of blood going on. I realize it's not a huge deal for some intermingling, but I certainly didn't want the full sibling situation going because they're rabbits and they'll boink their sisters if they want to. So that was unfortunate and it was a learning experience, but the meat was not wasted. So that was mistake number one, keeping two bucks together. The second thing I'm still trying to troubleshoot is the nesting box situation, because we have plenty to accommodate each rabbit plus extra. But I came out one day and there were baby bunnies strewn all over the yard. Somebody had given birth in the middle of the night and I found them deceased just everywhere, not in a nesting box. I mean, there were a couple in random nesting boxes and there were a couple just strewn over the yard. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know what the situation was. It happened not long after I had put the bunnies in the warren, and I am pretty sure they were from Lucy, who would have been a new mother. And the weather was super weird. It was freezing cold and it was really windy. So after finding those babies just strewn over the yard, I decided to rethink the nesting situation. So what I ended up doing was I separated out our remaining buck, Gaius, and he is in his own separate cage. And I will rotate breed them so that every week I'll breed a doe to Gaius and also to Honeybun, our new buck. And before they're due, I will put each doe in their own separate cage or enclosed space so that she could feel safe. She has a nesting box of her own, and hopefully it'll solve the dead baby problem. And in addition to that, I can troubleshoot some additional problems with my does, because I don't think Margot is having babies anymore. And unfortunately, that means we're going to have to cull her. And same with Lucy and Mina and Derpy over here, Beatrix behind me. If they're not having babies, we can't be keeping them. So we're gonna have to cull them. Yeah, you're an exception. Hi, Isla. Isla and Scotch are exceptions to the cull rule because they are pet rabbits. At least they're pet rabbits now. They're too sweet for me to cull them, and neither one of them will breed. They're very content being spinsters. So they get a pass, but all of the other ones will rotate breed and we'll keep the ones who are good mothers and who become mothers in the first place. I guess that's the main thing, because we can't have any freeloading bunnies except for those two. So we're going to rotate breed, and anybody who doesn't have a litter, say 2 times in a row, so we'll breed them 2 times in a row, they'll get 2 passes, but the 3rd time they're gonna go to freezer camp. And anyone who isn't a good mother, the 2nd time around is also going to freezer camp. I understand having a first litter and not knowing what to do and not being a great mother, but 2nd time around, if they abandon their babies or eat their babies or other horrible things, they're out. We can't keep them, they're a cull. And by rotating and putting them in their own space, we can troubleshoot who's doing well, who's not, who needs to go to freezer camp. The 3rd thing that I think we're having issues with is I am not sure that our buck Gaius is fertile. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing when we rotate. we'll breed, say, Margot to Gaius, and if she doesn't have babies, we'll breed her to Honeybun. If Honeybun and her have babies, that means that Gaius has a strike against him. Does that make sense? So we're going to try to troubleshoot whether my buck is infertile or if it's maybe a Margot problem or a Lucy problem, and so on and so forth. Other than those 3 issues we've had, it seems to be going very well. All of the females get along great, and they're so fun to watch. They seem to be so happy just being able to get out and hop around and jump on things. And I think it's all around just a better situation for all of my does. So that's the update on the rabbit colony. It was probably not the happiest update there could be, but I'm learning. This is my first time doing a rabbit colony, and I've only been in the meat rabbit game for a year. I've had a pet rabbit, Walter, for 8 years, but that's an entirely different thing. It's quite the new experience trying to get rabbits to breed. You know, you hear everybody say, breed like rabbits. Well, that's just not happening here. And hopefully I can get this troubleshooted and figure out if it's a problem with my does or my buck. And hopefully here in a couple of months, we will have an abundance of babies. Thank you for watching my channel. Please subscribe and like and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a single one of our bunny episodes.